Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you could be here today. My name is Jerry McMillan, and today we're going to be talking about taxes and the effect that they have on the educational budget. Okay, so first I'm going to ask a question. Does anybody know what supply-side economics is? Do you know what trickle-down economics is?
No.
Have you ever heard of that? Okay, so at least I got some nods there. Okay, so what trickle-down economics is when the government decides they're going to cut taxes for basically the wealthy and corporate America, so that they can stimulate the economy. And how that works is it's a trickle-down effect. So you give them money and they invest it into their businesses, into whatever, to create more jobs, which increases the tax base of the economy. And it don't work. It's never worked. It started with Ronald Reagan, and he ended up doing the reverse in the second term he had. He increased taxes way above what he had cut them. And Gomez of Wharton School of Economics at the University of Pennsylvania, when asked, does supply side economics work? He said most absolutely they don't. So that's just one. I can find probably, to everyone that says yes, I can find two that say no. So what they do when they do this is they reduce the taxes, and then in order to, if it doesn't work, well, then they have budgets that they can't meet for whatever it is. And education is one of those budgets. And what they'll do is they will cut as much as they possibly can from the budget. And in effect, that has a very deleterious effect on the educational system. Let's take Kansas. And what Governor Brownback did 6 years ago, he did almost the same thing, but he dropped taxes to nearly nothing on all small businesses and corporations, basically the business world, because he thought that was going to entice neighboring states, businesses in neighboring states, to bring their companies to Kansas. And that would then have the effect of increasing taxes, because you got more workers that pay taxes. So basically, it was a failed experiment. It was devastatingly failed. It failed devastatingly. And what he decided to do was cut taxes on, or he would increase, no, he would cut the budgets of everything that he could possibly find to cut the budget on. And one of those things that he cut the budget on was the education system. He cut their budget in half. When you do that, you have to consolidate schools. You have to quit hiring teachers. You have to fire teachers. You have to make compensation. Well, the good people of Kansas, or not the good people, but the concerned citizens of Kansas decided they're going to fight this. So they went to the Kansas Supreme Court, and in the end, they brought a lawsuit against Kansas and Brownback, and they ended up winning. And so they told Kansas, the government, you have to increase the budget by $200 million in 18 months in the educational system, because it's unconstitutional. You're not giving these kids a good education. So what's all the harm in this? Well, the harm is that it's nothing more of theft of your children's future. You're depriving them of an education, right? And so without that education, they're probably not going to be very much work for them in the job market, except at McDonald's or KFC. And so then it reduces your innovation. Because if you don't have innovation in a state or a country, then you fall behind economically on the global scale. So then, basically, you become a second-rate country. And you have uneducated kids, And when you're uneducated, you work for minimum wage. And when you work for minimum wage and you have a couple kids, well, guess what? You're going to need some kind of assistance. So then you go to this government who's cut all the taxes and doesn't have any money to spend for social welfare. So what's it do? Poverty begets poverty. So again, I say cutting educational budgets after cutting taxes will never work the way they think it will. And in fact, it's rather a way to ensure that children won't have a bright future, but rather create a second-rate economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. More Kansas kids.